Alhamdulillah, abduhu wasta'inuhu wastadihi wastaghfiruhu wa umminu bihi jalla wa ala wa la akfiruhu wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaytana wa hab lana min ladunka rahmatan innaka anta wahhab. إنك جميع ناس ليوم لا ريب فيه إن الله لا يخلف الميعاد. Alhamdulillah. So today's subject is Zionist behavior. But before I get to that, I want to go through a few things. Of course, we've talked about that we're at the beginning of another stage in the history of not only Masjid al-Islam, As-Sabiqun movement, but we are, the world is in a transition. I mean, every day it's just big news that relates to Islam. In the movement, they used to have something that really came from management, is what, when, where, how, and who. You know, when you want to talk about things in general. First of all, what is it you want to talk about? When did this, what time, historical period did this go on in? Where? Where was it at? You know, in America, Africa, Asia, Middle East? How? What was the process of this thing taking place? And who was it happening to? It's just a standard, if you want to write a story, if you want to go into any, these are the questions that you answer. You know, it makes it easy. It not only deals with management, but it deals with just writing a story. This is the questions you want to. So I want to talk a little bit about today, and the what is the Islamic movement? The Islamic movement globally, the Islamic movement especially in North America, the Islamic movement related to As-Sabiqun, As-Sabiqun ala walun, the first rank, those who will lead the way and those who will show the way. You know, when you translate that ayat, that's where it translates into those who will lead the way and those who will show the way. Because sabiq means to go out in front of everybody else. It means to win in a race. It's like a challenge. Sabiq also means that like As-Sabiqun are those who will recognize, in some cases, what should be done. They will answer all those questions: what, when, where, how, and who. They will answer all those questions in their own mind, and whatever the discordances are in the movement and human life, or that specific problem, they will go out in front of everybody else and they will solve the problem. That's what As-Sabiqun means. That's what the name, they'll go out in front of everybody else. When everybody else come along, they don't even recognize that it was a problem. If it was a problem, they don't know what happened to it. In the Mufassirs relate to As-Sabiqun as the people before Badr. Before Badr. Badr happened, was the first battle in Islam. I mean, the first one and it was about a year and a half after they had migrated to Al-Medina. And when the Quran refers to As-Sabiqun, the Mufassirs say that that's who they were talking about. Those people that accepted Islam when it was no guarantee or nothing, they accepted it on faith. They had the confidence that Allah was God and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was his messenger, and they didn't need anything else. They were certain of that. They had yaqeen. They had certainty. And so that was a great epic in Islamic history. We're living through, if nobody has recognized it, we're living through a great epic right now, not only in history, but especially in Islamic history. I mean, sometimes we put off things, or we smell or we hear on the news little things is developing. And sometimes we could have had this meeting on Tuesday, but we waited till today. Because last night or yesterday over there and this morning, great events is taking place. I mean, in Lebanon, Lebanon, it's not only just one crew, but all our whole crew, the people they call us their crew and we call them their crew. Because everybody knows that the Secretary General or the head, I'm not going to go in, Hezbollah used to write us letters over here in the 90s when we was over there. I had to tell them, y'all got to, I said, boss man, he see the logo, Hezbollah, and you sending it to us. I said, we love everybody. We have pictures out, the thing is full of, the deputy leaders, and this stuff is going on a long time. I remember when they used to have programs and the leadership would be given a speech, and all the bodyguards and all those guys, when I walk in, they would be given, they're not supposed to do it, but they'd be giving me the okay sign and all that. Not the sign, but the okay look, and everybody would know it, And so it would be the big sheikhs, but all the people around them. And this is with leadership right now over in Afghanistan. Some of the so-called leaders that, it's a long story. But people know what we about. As-Sabiqun. That name carries a big historical, that's one of the deepest names that you could take out of the Quran. I'm not saying it's the deepest, but it's right along with it. Those are the ones that win the race. Those are the ones that smooth out the way and just take care of everything. When everybody else come along, they think that the road was smooth like that already. That's the way it was. It was built like that. They don't know. They may not have any idea about who smoothed it out, who made the road. They won't have no idea. And that her road goes direct to certain places and direct to others, and it don't go around and around that much. Okay, because see, As-Sabiqun don't care about that stuff. They don't care about that stuff. They don't care about getting a star by their name. You know, when you do good in school or somewhere, they put a star by. They put it all kind of. They don't care about that. They could care less. But the people that they dealing with think they do. That's one of the edges that you have, As-Sabiqun have on them. They judging by what people should do, and maybe during an earlier stage of transition to now, they may be 40 years behind, 50 years behind. Because they don't deal much with growth and evolution. See, the reason we're here, the reason we're talking gangster talk about the most dreaded body in the world, the Zionist state, the Zionist entity, is the devil reincarnate. For today, it is the meanest, most exercising control over the world that the world has ever seen. This is Zionist state, because see, before there's no entity. If the shaitan is running things, he's just the local shaitan. In Peru, but nobody knew where Peru was because they was all over in Europe. All the little local shayateen here, nobody know America, they didn't know over there. And if you was a little shayateen in Sri Lanka, nobody would know about you because you were a local shaitan. Now there's a global shaitan. That's the Zionist state of Israel. Okay, now here we are. Everybody else, when you talk about care, when you talk about, I remember the guys you was calling for us down in Texas? Yeah, Muslim Legal Fund. Finally, when the guy called me, you know what he asked me? He said, he didn't hardly give me no time to talk. He said, I read about you in such and such. Is that true? I said, you read about me in that rag? I said, what they said about, I said, what about what I have something to say about them? You don't read what they say about me and then pick up, well, I gotta go. I said, you gotta go. I said, fine, get on then. Haven't heard from him since. But look, As-Sabiqun. What, when, where, how, and who. When people get started on this and they get to the first, what are we talking about? They pack up and say, I don't know if I want to go any further. It's what they do. I go so far as to say, everybody you know, and anybody else know, when they get started on this question and they hit the first one, what? Oh my goodness. That's it, as far as they go. That's why there's been a systematic exclusion of our community on the board anywhere. Now, we'll be back on the board, don't worry about a thing. But it's when we get ready, and not when they get ready. And whatever they think, that's okay. Remember, I don't want to get to bragging. But the Zionists, everybody else that they scared of, you know what you might as well call us? Call us something like Captain America. You know them superheroes? I'm telling you. And guess what color Captain America is now? Anybody seen lately? Captain America is a Negro. Captain America always was white. Now Captain America is a Negro. And Captain America went back and got a statue put down there, and, of course it's just TV, of the old Negro. He was old by then, what they had did long time ago, nobody ever heard about it. And this guy was kind of mad. And Captain America went down and got him to put their story. So it's a statue of America, Captain America. And of those days, the Negroes, not the Captain Americans. In those days, Captain America was white. But that's lighthearted. But the stuff that we're doing is super heroic. It's super heroic. Hey, look. Why you think nobody wants any part of anything we do? None. I don't want no part of that. So you don't want no part? No, sir. Goodbye. Why is it that we were the most popular crew around and all of a sudden we don't get no phone calls? We don't get no